Those German guys, we are back in 2026. Willie coming to you live from Pirate Satellite Radio somewhere in Munich, or perhaps in your basement in the beer garden down here. You never know where we're going to be.
In the Ratskeller. We're going to change the name to Studio R for Ratskeller.
Well, we've missed all you guys. Hopefully you missed us a little bit, and kicking off 2026 with our first podcast. And we have breaking news to go over out of Munich.
Oh my God. Like I said in the teaser trailer, beer culture festivals, we want to cover it all. And let me tell you, man, this is exciting. I don't know if it's good exciting or not, but apparently the Brewers Association wants to
charge admission to Oktoberfest.
Yes. And you know what? There's a lot of debate going on in Munich about it right now. So the question at hand is, should Oktoberfest start charging admission? So Mike and I are going to go over basically what everybody has to say, their points, to get you all up to speed. And, at some point we like to hear what you guys have to say. But first, I'd like to thank, the guys that did reach out and have comment on my little short video about coming up on the subject matter and what you guys thought. So we'll do this in another podcast here shortly on what everybody had to say. So let's get started with that right off the bat. So the Brewers, they pay for, all kinds of stuff. They pay for the bands, they pay for setup, tear down. They probably cover all expenses at one point or another, but they also charge the vendors and everybody for being there. But still, they base beer prices on what they have to cover, and they're saying that it's going up. So we paid roughly 16 euros for a beer when we were there last year.
Yeah.
And that was basically the going rate for it. I heard that there was 14. We didn't pay for one that was 14.
Well, on the old Wiesn we did. It was a little bit less expensive there, but you do have a cover charge to get into the old Wiesn.
Yes.
But it's a different vibe there, and you have the option to go there and pay that if you want to go.
Yeah, you're not forced to do it, and it is the old Wiesn. It is little bumper cars. It is almost like what it would be here in the smaller Oktoberfest setting.
Right. So it's kind of like the older rides that they had in the 50s and things like that. So they have a lot of farm equipment, and it's a little bit different vibe. It's a little bit more chill, a little bit more laid back and relaxed, and I enjoyed it a lot too. They're both, it's nice to be able to do both when you go there.
It is. I haven't been to the old Wiesn in a while, and so when I went with you guys, that was fantastic. Besides, we got to go on German television.
Yeah.
So there's that, right? So that's their position, is that they know that if they keep raising beer prices, that they're going to price themselves out, right? So that they want to do an admission, right? Mm-hmm. So the tent, the guys who run the tent don't want anything to do with that. The landlords, they're like, no, reject.
And also the mayor of Munich rejected it. 9.
He was a hard 9.
Dieter Reeder said no. 9.
9. So they don't want it. It just seems like everybody is against it except for the beer guys.
Yeah.
And so it's like then they add in about crowd control, and that they had to shut down Oktoberfest a couple times because there's too many people in there. And I'm like, well, if there's too many people in there, well,
they're not all in the beer tents because the beer tents are full.
Yep.
So, it could be a money grab. Now, it's kind of hard to say because, like the mayor said, they don't want to make this Disney Europe or, Disney Oktoberfest. And I get that. And it's a folk festival for the people. And, but, a lot of people are surprised that the beer tents are temporary. They're not there year round. These are temporary structures.
Right.
And, if you think about it, you have a 2-story tent with an upstairs and everything that goes into that to put that up with the plumbing and everything else with the facilities and the kitchen. It's there for 6 weeks.
Right.
So there's a huge expense in putting that up and tearing it down, and the cost of the personnel to be in there to work the tent, and and the band and the entertainment. So, you know, I'm sure there is a lot of expense on that.
Right. So like there's us, that's in the beer garden. There was a band out there, plus there was band inside playing, and they play from opening to closing. You know, sometimes there's multiple bands in there depending on the on which tent it is. So I mean, there are a lot of things to consider with that. I mean, beer prices do continue to go up. I get that, but you just, you know,
right, you know, but then again, it's going to get to the point where, you know, you can go just to Augustiner Beer Garden down the street and pay a fraction of what it costs at Oktoberfest. You know, you can get a liter there for 10 or 12 euro as opposed to the 16. And if it goes up from there, you know, so, you know, it's kind of a tightrope they're trying to walk here. You know?
Right. So, I mean, the big question, or the bigger question, is, you know, what is Oktoberfest for? And, you know, so you get the debate is philosophical, you know. Is it a folks fest? Is it a commercial event? Is it a tourist attraction, cultural celebration, or a revenue machine? Or is it all of the above, right? So, I mean, you just don't know, right? I mean, what it is, how they want to do it. I mean, I understand with the crowd control. You can still do that without charging people to get in. I mean, with all the facial recognition things, and drones and whatnot, you have an in and out lane. If you really want to stop people, to me, I didn't care for it. You and I never got caught up in not being able to be in there.
Right.
But I mean, I can just imagine an hour train ride, schlepping through Munich. I get to Oktoberfest and they've closed the gates. Now, they did do a very good job of letting people know.
Yeah.
Our apps were always lighting up anytime there was a change at Oktoberfest. On the trains, there was everything was on there telling you whether it was open or whether it was closed. So I mean, unless you live under a rock, you probably would have had access to knowing whether it was open or not. Until they actually closed it. I mean, there wasn't like a countdown. Hey, we're going to close in 30 minutes. They just said it's closed.
Right.
And fortunately, it didn't stay closed. Pretty much any time it closed that I can recollect the entire time, besides that one day, which we don't need to go into all that, was at basically what I would call shift change on the tents, right? Because there's all these people that are coming in to take over the seats, and then the people that are coming out, and they don't necessarily leave when they come out of the tents. They stay on the ground. So, I mean, it does get a bit crowded at times, but I don't remember. And we were there multiple days.
Right.
Right. You know, it was full. I mean, that was the picture right there. I mean, we were out on our balcony off the mayor's table, which was fun. And of course, there's us. Which tent? I don't know which tent that is.
I don't know.
Schottenhamel. Yeah. So we're in Schottenhamel, and I mean, it wasn't that crowded inside. I mean, there was people could get seats. You know, I mean, and again, it all depends on what time you go
and what day,
right? If you go on a Saturday night, prepare to be disappointed, right? I mean, now if you look in the background of that picture, there's a decent crowd out there, but that was during the week.
Yeah,
that was not a weekend. That was during the week when we were in. And took that picture.
Yeah, but last year we were there, not this past year, but the year before we were there opening weekend.
Yeah,
and it was really crowded. We got a table. So.
Yeah, we got
already got us a table.
They already got us a table. Let's be honest. I mean, we would have been, if it would just been you and I there, we would have drank.
Yeah.
Right? We would have worked our way in there. But we got an entire table thanks to Hardy.
Right.
And because he's German, I mean, they were. Even I said I didn't believe we were going to get a table for the size of party we had, and then we moved to another tent and still
got a table.
And you know what? That's where one of our catchphrases come from.
You may not like us, but we're here.
Right? So, I mean, that was a good day.
Yeah,
and that was during it, and that was packed. That beer garden was packed. That was
Fisher
Veroni. And I mean, we basically saw a sliver of space in the center of this table and had to work our way we were on one side, Janice was on the other side.
Yeah.
And that's how we got into that space. I mean, otherwise we would have been standing in the corner. Maybe we would have got fish for sure.
Oh, I know.
So,
But, you know, with the cover charge here at Oktoberfest, I think that's going to more affect the Germans than it is you and I or people in other countries. Because if you fly all the way to Munich to go to Oktoberfest, you're not going to not go because of a €10 cover charge. You know, I see this as more of a German cultural issue with the cover charge, just like how they didn't like it when they put up a fence around the Wiesn. The Germans didn't like that when they put the fence up. You know, before you could just come and go, but with, you know, the modern era that we live in and terrorism and things like that, for security, they had to put a fence around it.
But that was the best year to go. Well, in the past 10 or so years, or actually longer than that. But that was the best year to go because the Germans didn't like it. So they kind of did like a semi-boycott of it, which, I mean, we just ran through that entire festival. We hit probably 6 or 7 tents that the one night I was in there. That was pretty cool. We had from what I don't remember.
But yeah, I mean, I think this comes down to more of a German cultural debate on that. I mean, you know, I understand there's costs and everything that go along with it, but you know, it's going to depend. I mean, you know, beer costs keep going up. So, you know, now if you get a cover charge, or the cover charge is going to go up one year, then the beer costs go up next year. Next year, the cover charge goes up. So is it going to be an escalating thing continuously? You know, I don't know.
Or do they do a basically, here's the lock-in beer price, and here's the lock-in cover charge for X amount of years.
Mm-hmm.
So there is no, they know that for 5-10 years, this is what you're going to pay 16 euros for a beer, and you get a $10 cover, or €10 cover charge to get in, or whatever year it might be. We're putting euros in their mouth. Right. Whatever the charge is, that's a lock for that many years. And they go from there. Who knows? I mean, who knows what kind of deal they can work out.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we don't know enough about the ins and outs of the Oktoberfest as far as
who's paying for what? Because obviously, you know, you have other things besides the beer tents. You have the rides, so I'm sure those people are paying for their spot to be there. You know, all the gingerbread huts and everything else, all the other vendors that sell souvenirs, and you know, I'm sure they're paying for their spot there as well. I mean, so those people are paying to be there too. So, you know, I don't know.
And how does that play into
the cover charge?
The beer, cover charge, beer pricing. I mean, you know, the brewers are claiming that they pay for everything, which they may write the check, but you know, the guy on that running the Olympia roller coaster, he's still paying his portion to them, and then they pay the check.
Right.
But you know, so I mean, it's just one of those things. It's like, I don't think it'll ruin the vibe. You know, I'm used to paying cover charge for stuff here, you know, in the States. I don't think it's going to turn it into Bavarian Disneyland. I mean, I don't think so. I know the shock and awe of it initially will, you know.
Sure. No, right.
It'll probably turn some people off. I mean, heck, even maybe you know, if you're a Munich resident, you know, you don't have to pay, right? You got an Oktoberfest pass or whatever they might want to do for the Germans. So let's just say they want to, you know, if you're not a German citizen, you know, you have a price for being a German citizen. It's like Disney. Don't want to compare them to Disney, but there's the Florida residents pay a certain price to go to Disney, and you and I that don't live in Florida pay a price to go there.
Right.
And it's dramatically different. So let's just say that if you know, live in Munich, it's €1.
Yeah.
If you just live in Germany and, you know, or you're German, you know, it's €2.
Yeah, but I could see kind of that would create a lot of problems with trying to get in there. You know?
Well, yeah, because now you have to have a booth, right? And that's just another. I mean, the security lines are already brutal as it is.
Right.
So yeah, I mean, it is definitely something that they're going to really have to consider, and how they're going to implement it is going to be very, very important that they do it correctly.
Right.
Because I mean, the way that they've changed security, that you go to the entrance and then walk halfway around the Oktoberfest grounds to just loop back the other way, not off the entrance we go in now.
Right.
And I'm not going to tell our followers what entrance we use, because then it'll clog up our entrance.
Oh, there you go. There you go. You have to figure that out
You got to
yourself.
figure it out on your own. Which way did Mike and Willie G get into Oktoberfest? But if you go in through one of the main entrances, you will have to snake through this line to walk in the gate. So I don't know. I think we'll have to wait and see on this one, and I think that I'd love to hear from our followers and our fans. What do you think? And I know we've already heard from a couple, and the majority of them they're okay with a cover charge. And I mean, I guess it's.
Yeah, I guess, I mean, we're more accustomed to that maybe here in the States than other places there, especially being in Germany. I mean, where this has been a free event since the inception of it. You just go in. So this is kind of shocking to them, where here in the States, it's probably a little bit different.
Yeah, I totally agree. I think that the Germans definitely aren't going to like it at all. And I think.
But so far in 2026, this summer, it's supposedly not going to be this year.
So, no, it's not. So
you got, if you want to go without the cover, go this year.
That's right. Or whatever, what other extra fee might get added on there, a convenience fee or whatever you want to freaking call it. So this would be definitely a year to go. And actually, honestly, I would not see anything being enacted for a couple of years, because the Germans don't move really any quicker than the Americans do when it comes to doing stuff like that.
Yeah, right.
Because I'm sure there's legislation involved in that, because Munich has a lot to say about Oktoberfest and the government certainly has a lot to say about Volksfest and how they do what they do. There'll be some debates going on there. So we would like to debate this.
Yeah. So.
And
drop us a line, drop us a comment, like and share, and let us know what you guys think. And we'll get back to what the consensus is out there in the Ethernet, and we'll let you guys know what everybody thinks. So until next time, like we always say, come for the beer,
stay for the Gemütlichkeit,
and we will see you next time on Prost, the podcast with those German guys.
Prost!